the speed trap, the so-called mind setting, the intent, the desires, the needs, the wants, the motives, plans in life, plans about even simple routine things, okay, for the survival and sustenance. All these things are there for the human being to live. They were all there. But as of now, and quite possibly in the coming times, I suppose even I am sometimes a victim of the speed trap. Whatever we intend, whatever we plan, whatever we want, etc., should be accessed as quickly, as fast, as early as possible. That's what I call speed trap. Like many other concepts which I have discussed or presented before your consideration. The earlier one, the familiarity trap, and the speed trap, and one more trap called the self-importance trap. These are all my findings out of my research and interview with a great lot of people of all ranges, all age range, all education range, all role range. So the name is quite clear. By the name itself, I think you must have got a rather clear idea about the possible, probable nature of speed trap. Trap is clear. So come on, as you understand, what are the examples or what are the situations or what are kind of contexts you have noticed, and right now you can identify retrospectively, that you can identify retrospectively representing the so-called speed trap. The responses, once again, so yes, the responses, even the expressions, behaviors, doings, ways of relating or interacting with people, and ways of talking or doing or connected with language, where all you remember having noticed that people or individuals concerned were sort of trapped by, not trapped by, sort of, being very hasty, very intolerant, very impatient, etc. All right, come on, yes, Tindal.
I want to look at least three instances of examples. One is work, one is with respect to the general aspects, and third with respect to even the personal self.
Beautiful. All right, that class, I told you we are focusing on many angles. First of all, I appreciate your way of explaining it. First, second of all, third of all. Good. Come on, proceed.
Sir, in the work side, in the last 20 odd years where I've been in multiple careers, now everybody has a sense of urgency, and sometimes that urgency is not reflected in the necessity of importance.
Critical factors, urgency. All right, come on.
There is even a philosophy, or rather a motto called fail fast.
Okay.
So that's at the work site. Everybody is expected to be very proactive, very prompt, always seen as being energetic, vibrant. And if you're not, then the assumption is that you are not dedicated or ambitious, etc.
Wait. Keep your idea active. Some of the aspects or attributes you mentioned have been always there. It was always appreciable that somebody, dedicated, what is that, vibrant, smart, etc. That actually have nothing to do with what we call speed trap. Get the point?
Yes, sir.
Perhaps I would say 9 out of every 10 housewives of the past, some 40 years back or 50 years back that I know of, they were so smart, so vibrant, so radiating, so filled with work from morning 4 o'clock to night 11 o'clock, untiringly. So those aspects are actually not a factor of speed trap. All right, proceed.
Okay, sir. The what is being seen as is that you're trying to do a continuous improvement. If you can do something within X number of months, then you try to see if you can improve it again and again. That is one aspect I've seen.
No, no, improve it again and again vis-a-vis the time taken.
Time factor.
All right, okay.
So there could be a, let's say, a scenario wherein something might take X number of months, etc. And sometimes trying to improve it, you will have to go into rework. But it's still seen as a positive thing because you're trying to do it fast. Hence the term fail fast came. Then at a second dimension of
no. You are using now certain language which are not precisely connected with the concept of speed trap. So you have to
you
say,
will fail fast, sir.
what were you talking now? In the work situation, there is a general culture being promoted, being recommended, being forced, where people have to work things faster. That's what you said. All right?
Yes, sir.
Agree. Okay.
And
So
the thought
now-
is that
now-
if you are failing, you fail fast, so you can try again.
Yeah.
Is that connecting here?
No. That is all sort of inevitable. As a result of which, the individuals concerned become a victim of speed trap and they generalize it into their life situations also, in their other activities of life also. Then it is speed trap. For example, you want to go to... No, I will not give examples. Let us, because this you will be able to identify. That part you have to clarify it. Then only your exemplification becomes precise. You are giving the context of relatively high speed insisted by organizations. All right? In a competitive
Yes, sir.
environment, because of a competitive environment. All right? If 5 IT companies are quoting for a project, whoever quotes the minimum time, they will get the project. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
So that is true. Same is the case with other manufacturing industries also. How fast you can make that many number of things. And if you remember some of the Charlie Chaplin films, it has been all the time there. All right. But in those situations, people were not victims of speed trap. At the workplace, they may do it in 100 km per hour. That's okay, because that's the requirement of the work. But if that kind of speed is insisted on various other things in life, like, okay, no, I want you to go making this kind of examples on your own. That will come next. All right, okay. Second, you said about first is work situation.
Yes, sir. Second thing is with respect to when I was doing my engineering, we would write home once in 2 weeks and call home once on a weekend because it was expensive and you would go to a PCO booth and make a phone call. There was a time when I did not write home for 2 consecutive fortnights, that's almost a month, and I did not call back also for almost 2 weeks plus when a family was worried and they sent my uncle to check to see how I was. Now, if somebody is not responding within an hour or even 2 hours or 3 hours, the same level of panic or response is there. Maybe the feedback loop has decreased or the time which people think is normal has decreased because there is always continuous stimuli, continuous feedback.
All right. Okay. That will eventually create a mind setting of speed, right?
Yes, sir.
All
But
right.
you have to be always
All right. Okay. Okay. Now.
on, you have to be always present.
Okay.
The third one is when I started picking up the guitar myself as a personal example, or any of the other skills as well. It could be done, I learned it, I reflected on it, incubated, learned, unlearned, and whatever I've learned has been there to stay. Now, there are so many sites or videos, etc., much more than what we had before on how to play guitar, how to play the song, etc. But I don't see any significant correlation in the improvements of people.
No, no, no. You are going away from the focus of the topic. So
what I meant was, it takes a certain time to build a skill set, and the expectation is that you can do it faster sometimes,
okay.
but it doesn't sustain.
Wait. Are you right now a victim of the speed trap, so that you want to just like that talk what you want to talk without considering the real correlation of the ideas with the topic? You have. For example, you talked about several what you call clues and etc. in the YouTube and all that. So what? In which way it is connected with speed trap?
It's like a 1 minute manager book, sir.
No.
Learn the song in half an hour.
We are talking about the example you said.
Yes, sir.
You said the example. In that example, you said there are so many what you call videos in the YouTube about guitar or about piano. So what? How is it connected with the speed trap?
Previously, somebody would go to a master and then learn from the beginning and build up. Now you are jumping into the middle and trying to swim.
So what?
It's not succeeding most of the times.
So what? In which way it is connected to speed trap?
So people leave that pursuit and then try something else.
That is not a speed trap.
Okay.
Actually, what you explained contains clues to explain what is speed trap. So what according to you is speed trap? Come on.
Speed trap is trying to attempt something without understanding how long it may actually take to do that based on your level of skill, competency.
No, not that much. It is about just expecting the outcome or the output or expected goal to be accessed faster. That's all. Now you connect with the learning the guitar. You said in the past somebody was ready to learn guitar from a master over a period of 10 years. Now they want to learn it in 5 years or 3 years. That is speed trap. Because of that speed trap, because of the speed trap in this context, because of that speed trap, they anticipate their learning faster, and when they are not able to do it, they resign from that and withdraw. That should have been the way you should be explaining speed trap now. Get the point?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Speed trap is very simple. That's why I am asking you to explain. Speed trap is speed trap, trapped in speed. You want to do it faster, you want to get it faster, you want to learn it faster. You want to, you see a girl today and tomorrow you say, you go and tell her, I love you. Speed trap. Okay? So the child is there, instantly, within 3 months it is told all kinds of lessons, by 2.5 years put into kindergarten, then into this thing, and quick achievements, quick job, quick everything faster. Alright? I don't want to give other examples. I want to know how you are able to conceptualize when you are given the topic speed trap. you are able to get it, but this is also an example of speed trap. Somehow I have to talk it faster and explain it. Okay? In that process, you are not really reflecting on what example you are considering and how you are able to analyze that example and explain the topic. That is also speed trap. There is no patience to think. Ask yourself, do you have the patience, do you have the humbleness, do you have the pause, required peace or pause, required required state of mind which is calm and patient to reflect and think and talk. To that extent it is speed trap. Okay? Other examples, if you don't give, I will give. Now come on. Yeah. That is speed trap. You don't allow the child to learn a thing. Before that you want to get the result. That is also speed trap. The child to learn everything faster. So you speed trap induced upon the children. Teachers induced upon the children. That is called a speed trap. Trapped in speed of doing things, speed of getting things done. There is especially to get an output, an outcome faster. That is called a speed trap. Tendon. Lack of patience. That is the characteristic that you can see reflected everywhere, even in a kindergarten child. Alright, okay. Yes. Anything else? Tendon?
Yeah, I was thinking from an analytical perspective as well, sir.
Yeah, come on, analyze. What was your analysis of analytical perspective? What you mean to say that you are analyzing the speed trap? Come on, do it.
I have tried many ways to get to work to circumnavigate the Bangalore traffic. So I used to go to office in car. I've taken the bike. I've cycled to office as well as walked to office, multiple options. And what I've seen is, at times, ironically, when you take the car, it is slower than the bike. And sometimes the cycle takes the same time as the bike. And when I walk, it takes definitely double the time. But it is when I'm walking that I'm much more in tune with the surroundings. I observe more things from here to the office. A little faster in this cycle. In the bike, you have totally focused on riding faster, so the stimuli is on the road and the people. So you don't have time or even any opportunity to look at the surroundings, etc. And in the car, you're totally cut off.
Okay. Now, what are your insights from the example you said about speed trap and the consequences? Come on.
When you are actually going faster, you are not even allowing for reflection, stimuli or feedback to come for course corrections.
Alright, okay, that's a good point. That is the analysis and conclusion of speed trap. Alright? Yes, correct. In the past, sorry, I don't want to talk. Alright. Okay, Tindon. Good analysis and good conclusion. Alright, come on, anybody else?
Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me, doctor?
Very well, Vinay. Come on, you proceed, yes.
Little background. I'm actually driving. I'm not yet home. And I have been out the whole day at a seminar. And I have been keeping in mind the topic of today's program as the speed trap. And in my work day to day, I have been actually trying to interpret the meaning of the speed trap and trying to actually look for opportunities to identify it in today. So I have a little bit of understanding and reflection on that. But I apologize, I'm on the mobile and driving. But I think if I'm clear, then that's good.
You are much clear than normal times. Okay, proceed.
It's 22 hours.
That's good to hear. So, my definition or the understanding of speed trap comes from the interpretation of the statement that we all have been made to believe that time is money. So we have actually learned to barter time for money,
Okay.
whereby money is used as a, as as a trade-off. Not money. Time is used as a sense of money to buy either opportunity or to buy advantage or to buy anything of even monetary benefit, so that we are able to offset a certain expenditure by just saving of time. That is the concept that we have been indoctrinated with, in which we are getting into this concept of being trapped by the speed trap.
All right. Okay.
Would that interpretation have some sense?
Of course. Definitely yes.
Okay, so another way to look at this is that we are willing to lose something in the long run by saving on time. So we are able to actually save on clock time, but we in the long run lose a lot, which we at this point don't realize.
For example, yeah, come on.
So, for example, I was listening to a lecture not even about an hour and a half ago by the head of the Department of Cardiology and Radiology at the Reliance Hospital in Mumbai.
Okay.
So, I was at the seminar the whole day, in which the company Philips was releasing a new piece of imaging technology, which, as you know, is faster than anybody else in the competition. So that in itself, we are buying into the speed trap, because we are going to spend a great deal more money to buy a scanner that marginally reduces the time to do the scanning compared to any other machine. So we are going to, in effect, spend a lot of money to shave off a few seconds. And this shaving off few seconds is very alarming for many reasons. One is the preparation of a patient who is going through a particular scan requires the patient to be spoken to be counseled about the procedure, and to be given a little bit of medication which will reduce the heart rate and reduce anxiety.
Beautiful. Yeah.
But the logic over here is that if we have a machine that is able to do the same scan faster, so we don't need to talk to the patient, and we don't need to counsel them, and we don't need to give them a particular medication to calm them. And that concept is supposed to be better at a greater price. So we are being trapped by that, by time again, using the concept of saving time to spend a lot more money, and also to be a lot less human to the patient. They become people who do not have to be given certain information or clarification. So we are using again that trap of time to actually make our work supposedly easier, but in the long run it doesn't prove to be easier, because there are many other issues that come up that actually are counterproductive and will only be realized in the long term. So for a short-term gain in time, we are willing to risk a long-term possible problem.
Absolutely. That's a marvelous example of the technology-driven world today. In this context,
So that was,
yeah.
So that was my reflection for today.
Very meaningful, extremely relevant, no doubt about that.
And then if I can extend from the non-medical side into our general life and into our general functioning, the whole concept, if you realize the word fast is used in many, many social situations, notably one being fast food, where the idea of getting something to eat in a 1 minute or 2 minute span as against a longer sit down meal has been sold as a more healthy way, not healthy, but a better way of life, which it definitely is not, because there are great effects of this sort of food that is being meted out to the public. So, the concept of fast food does not go with good health. So, just to save a little time, people are willing to suffer possible long-term chronic medical illness.
Absolutely.
And similarly, the same thing about the concept of adventure. So today people are looking for opportunities to spend their time, and they have a vast amount of resource, money. So they do something called adventure sports. I think adventure sports is another sort of subtle form of speed trap where people, they are bored and they don't have anything to do to spend their time, so they're willing to hedge their own lives on a risky event, whereby the speed component is that instead of sitting down and planning a way of entertaining oneself for a period of time, one chooses very easily available, quick click of the button, you get somebody who will give you some adventure sports option, and then you take it. So the thing about where you don't have to spend a lot of time to choose something, it's all ready-made for you, but there's an element of risk in that which can prove detrimental in the long run.
Definitely, not necessarily long run, maybe long run for an individual, but if there are 5 individuals in a home, there will be much more complex consequences. Yes. Speed is glorified. Bikes, automobiles, communications. Now, fast trains, fast aircrafts, okay, fast communication through email. See, whole lot of technology-driven speed which the human being just cannot cope up with. But they are all trying hard. They are all unconsciously influenced by the speed of the machines. That is the major contribution of speed. Contributing factor of being a victim of speed trap.
And then I have one more last reflection.
Okay.
So that reflection was also part of today's program. So there was another very famous radiologist who had come down from Delhi today, who was part of the seminar, and he is actually given the title of the radiologist to the president of the country.
Oh.
He is a very high-profile radiologist who has a very big practice in Delhi, and he has for the last almost 15 or 20 years been officially designated as the radiologist to the President of India.
Okay.
So he was there, and then many other notable speakers, and so the conversation of today ventured into the realm of artificial intelligence, where a lot of the capabilities of individuals in their professional spheres would be replaced by artificial intelligence, which would do the job for them, thereby saving them a large amount of time. And one of these very prominent speakers from the National Forum, he said that, I wish that AI does these, and he gave a whole list of things that he expected AI to do. And at the end, he said something which was very dangerous, and that was, I want AI to replace all my colleagues.
Oh.
Except myself. So I want all the work that my colleagues do to be replaced by an artificial system which will do that job. And then I was very tempted to stand up and ask him one question which we had discussed, I think maybe 7 or 8 weeks back, on the concept of envy.
Okay?
So, though there was not much time and I did not want to change the course of the discussion, but I actually journaled it in my book. So I thought instead of saying it out loud, let me express it at least in my own book, in my own hand, and register that thought rather than speak it out in the forum, which many people might not understand or might not appreciate. So I thought it was better not to say it out, but it was good to write. So I wrote it anyway. So to actually to summarize my reflection, I thought that in his haste to save not just his own time, but he was willing to sacrifice all of his colleagues in the effort that instead of reporting 30 scans, he would be able to report 300 scans because an intelligent system would provide him all the necessary knowledge and infrastructure and support so that he would just be churning out the reports instead of 30 a day, 300 a day. So that was the trap, the time trap, or with the speed trap, in which he thought if he annihilated his competition and he annihilated his colleagues and he had replaced all the human beings surrounding him with a machine, he would generate more work. And that, I think, was a huge speed trap that he has been expressing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Dr. Vinay, thank you so much for sharing this. Thank you so much.
Most welcome. So, I just, it was very glaring. I think maybe, these sessions are bringing all these concepts so much into the foreground that, even before the session, I think we are already grappling with these traps and the awareness and the numerous opportunity we get to realize them in our day-to-day work.
Yeah.
I think I've spoken a lot.
No. That's. I want everybody to speak like this. Definitely. I used to give the clue and the theme and the guideline, and I would be just the referee. That's all. It is very painful, especially when you become sensitive to the need of leadership or become sensitive to the predicament of the world. It is very disturbing. And of course, as Dr. Vinay mentioned, artificial intelligence is the ultimate thing which will speed up a great lot of things. And as you said, instead of 30, if you do 300 processing, that is much more advantageous to whom, the entrepreneur, the owners, the governing body, the owners of the industry. So, all over the world, in most of the industries and businesses, definitely artificial intelligence will be incorporated. Not a doubt about that. And in coming maximum 3 to 5 years, the entire scenario of the world will change, especially in terms of employment and many other unexpected consequences. At that time, as I always say, you should be solid rock and giving guidelines and maybe comforting a lot of people. Yes, speed trap. And because the people are on the other side equally victims of speed trap. They want to achieve, they want to make money faster, they want to build a house faster, they want to buy a better car faster, they want their children to learn and get a job faster, Just the faster concept is there. Though an engineering degree would take 5 years, still there is an urgency about it. Even if cooking takes a certain time, there is an urgency. Everybody is impatient. Is the food ready? Is it not ready? There is an urgency. As a result, a fundamental attribute of the organism, which can be roughly reflected by the word patience or to be in tune, the Tao of existence is absolutely tarnished. That pace of life. By not, for example, will you equally increase the speed of the heartbeat, speed of the respiration, speed of the flow of blood, speed of the organic process, cellular process. Why not? Why they don't do that? I don't know. Already with the help of the so-called biotechnology, the growth of plants have been managed and manipulated. Now there are tree saplings which will produce whatever within 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Okay? Everywhere that urgency is induced, and as a result people are becoming unconscious victims of ennui. Ennui is not only about boredom. Ennui is about a sense of meaninglessness, a sense of reaching nowhere, the so-called rat race. There is speed all around. That's all seen by this very organism, human being, which was created thousands of years back. The organism cannot be in this speed. Human beings cannot even get the speed of a horse, even speed of a dog. Okay? But that human being is enjoying a vicarious satisfaction by driving a bike or driving a car. Every time he drives the car in unnecessary speed, he is actually putting himself into trouble. Future trouble. The guy who drove the car or the bike at 120, 140, 200 kilometers per hour and enjoyed the speed of that, he will have a shock when he realizes that he is suffering from rheumatic arthritis at the age of 45. When his digestive system is slow and individual suffering from constipation. Constipation is the result of speed trap, raga the roge. Okay? A great lot of young people, I would say at least 65 to 70% of the young educated people working in the companies, especially in India, I don't know about the West, they are all suffering from constipation. Because they eat fast, they are all the time, there's a speed of the mind. In fact, there is a reference to that as an illness in the Rasayanic tradition of Ayurveda. It is called Vega Avastha, Vega meaning speed. The mind achieves a speed, a hurry. Okay? As a result, for example, I hope you understand hurry. For example, I have to get into a taxi to go to the airport tomorrow, let us say 10 a.m. 10 a.m. the taxi will come. And the victim of the speed trap will start preparing by today 10 o'clock. Because of the speed trap, he or she is not sure whether he will be able to pack everything by the required time. Okay? And that speed trap is operating at various levels. There is no patience, there is no pace in interacting with the children, in interacting with the spouses, in interacting with the colleagues, in interacting with anybody. Because of the speed trap, people don't read. Because to read a book, it will take a certain time. Okay? So, the so-called internet, you just want only a specific point and type that point, ask that question, you get the answer. See? All this technological advancement, almost all of them are contributing to the speed trap. A Vega, it is called the Vega, was the state of speed of the mind. That is why blood pressure is increasing. That's why diabetes. That is why many other issues of digestion. Because of the speed of the mind. Mind meaning what? The central nervous system, autonomic nervous system and the flow. Mind is kind of a liquid that is flowing through the body. Mind is kind of a force field that's in the body. That field, that original field of the real organism of this nature process called human being, human species, that speed cannot be altered like the speed of the motorbike, like the speed of the internet. But this normal speed of human being, or the original speed of human being, that human being is inevitably exposed to correlate with the high speed things all around. So there is an unconscious defeat. That's why people are so irritable. You look into the city, everybody is irritable. Nobody looks peaceful. They are all pretending maybe in the office room. But they don't have peace. Thereby, as a result, the family life also is affected. Why so much of divorces? Nobody has the patience. Why so much of interpersonal conflicts at home between the parents and children? All these are actually due to speed trap. So because he said this, I thought about all these things. Artificial intelligence too, ultimate. And look at the world. Because we have said this much about the so-called technological advancement, what the world has gained out of the speed. High-speed aircrafts, okay. You travel from Bangalore to Seattle in 7.5 hours. Email, oh, in the past you write a beautiful letter taking a paper and pen and write it and buy the cover and put it and post it and it reaches after 5 days. Things were going on happily. Now so-called email, what bloody advancement the world has achieved by the speed. Poverty has gone all-time low. The happiness index of the world has gone all-time low. Mental illness has gone all-time terrible. What the world has achieved by the so-called technological speed. Okay, technological speed, it is the neurosis of some researchers. The so-called creative people who are becoming it's a dangerous threat to humanity. The creativity of Albert Einstein, which led to the atom bomb. The creativity of the so-called stupid biotechnologists, creation of so many viruses. Okay? High-speed engines, so many accidents. Look at the number of people who die on the road every day in this country itself. Look at the number of peaceful homes. The husband has no mindset. There's no peace of mind. There's no normal speed of mind to sit down and talk. There is no romance, even on the very first day of marriage. At that basic drive level, even people are victims of speed trap in their own very sexuality. There is no patience, just to do the thing and get out. Or rather, they don't have the speed, they don't have the proper speed of mind. So they are all driven by the outcome. They are all trying for they have only one goal. When they see the wife or when they see a woman, one goal is that transient orgasm. There is no pace for it. There is no romance there. And that is the tragedy of speed trap. Okay? The world is going mad because of the so-called creative people. Creative people have become a threat to the peaceful coexistence of humanity. I mean technological creative people. In fact, any researcher in creativity would say that technology is not at all an example of creativity. One person sitting in the lab working on this and that, something has come up. Nobody can sit down in order to invent the automobile. But somebody can sit down patiently in order to create a piece of poetry, in order to create a piece of music, in order to write a short story, in order to write a journal, in order to do sort of things, you know. So, within every year, every day, every month is becoming, achieving that critical turning point of, as a consequence of the speed trap of the very world. Greedy. And the entrepreneurs are all greedy. They want to become number one the next day. I have trained at least 300, 400, trained meaning interacted with 300, 400 so-called entrepreneurs. I want them, do not be a victim of speed trap. Do not take the example of Dhirubhai Ambani or Adani or Wipro or some other company. Your company is in your time, space, location, just like a tree, let it grow. And they do all kinds of manipulation, tax evasion, everything to make money fast and fast. And that speed trap is indirectly translated to the amount of money, like the amount of time saved, the amount of money. It's a terrible situation of this world. We can all look at and ask people, what advantage with the so-called high technology, high speed? Give one example of index of the real progress of existence. Other than so-called huge traders, so-called business corporations making money. The speed trap they have created into this world is beneficial only for those greedy, criminal, unethical entrepreneurs in increasing their wealth and their power. Where the massive human beings are all suffering. They have no other way. Like Tintin pointed out, they have no other way. Produce this much of bikes every month, sell this much of bikes every month, sell this much of cars every month. When I interviewed some IT entrepreneurs, I interviewed some 10 or 12 agents. The so-called Maruti agency in Coimbatore, he was telling me, we had to deposit some 25 crores to get the franchisee. And the company is telling you must sell 1,000 cars every month. If not, there will be a fine. A certain fine will be levied from your deposit. Where can I sell this 1,000 cars? Whether I sell it or not, the consignment comes. And he drove me to some 20 kilometers away, where a huge field is taken on rent, where all varieties of Maruti cars are parked, thousands in numbers in complete dust and all those things. He cannot sell it. And in that context, this so-called Maruti, violating all norms of their own creation or Automobile Manufacturers Association norms, and they should not give franchisee or what you call sales outlet for another company in a certain town or district with a certain population. So they were given, newly about 10 years back, they had given the agency to some other person also, and he is also competing. I'm just telling. The fact of the time. So that's all speed trap for the entrepreneurs. And again, because of the growth and some economic calculations of some idiots who sitting there in the planning department or the finance management of society, also you take a bank loan and you have to pay the interest every month. Okay? How will he make that money? So he has to follow unethical practices to make money, because the bank will come and confiscate you. Everything is lost. The beauty, the mystery and the wonder of life is lost by the work of the so-called creative people in technology. They are not creative people. They are just hooligans, kind of neurotic people sitting in the laboratory and the workshop, going on, trying, experimenting, spending the money collected from the people. $1 million budgets in R&D, and they go on creating machines, and machines are advertised for the speed 0 to 30 miles per hour in 2 seconds. That's why the cars and bikes are advertised. And you can see in the roads, everybody is trying to go in the fastest possible speed, depending upon their extent of anxiety or whatever it is.
Yes, sir, I have an example
Yes,
Like,
yes, Ganesh.
So, the speed trap, right? So, earlier, before putting the national highway from Bangalore to Mysore, everybody was enjoying or at least going through the process of driving or enjoying from Bangalore to Mysore. Once the national highway is put and said you can reach in 75 minutes, everybody forgot the basic thing of enjoying the drive
It's
and then
22:30.
started targeting to reach in 75 minutes. So now Bangalore to Mysore drive is a targeted drive, not the enjoying the process of drive. And it resulted in many chain of accidents because the road is not very smooth at one point and then multiple cars collided one behind the other. It happened several times and several lives lost. Just because of one statement by the National Highway Authority that you can reach in 75 minutes, the process thing become a targeted one. So
Precisely.
I could clearly connect the speed trap with that. I think people in Bangalore could probably relate to what I'm saying.
Yes, Ganesh, I
Absolutely.
can relate to that.
Yes.
Absolutely.
In fact, like sir was saying, the highway which is built is not capable of catering to the vehicles which are existing, or the vehicles and the drivers are not competent to drive at that speed or on that highways.
Yeah, exactly.
In the same way, majority of people are competent to live in this speed trap controlled world. So their life is in accidents. I mean, not physical accidents, psychological accidents, behavioral accidents, relationship accidents. Okay? So reflect upon this, find out as many examples. Now be sensitive. Every learning is a sensitization. Now your sensitivity range has gone very high to reach the level of sensing the genius of the you. So be aware of this happening and guide some people. Speed trap is just the term. Because of speed trap, let us say, so much of divorces, so much of marriages and remarriages, so-called living together. It's a classic actual example of speed trap, but it may not be easy to convince the general people, but you can understand that. Enjoy that marital, whatever, that basically speaking, free sexual relationship with a female or a male for about 6 months and be over, finished. Now the next one, then the next one. That is what is so-called living together. That lifespan, that beautiful lifespan, once married and then till the end living as companions and friends and the guides and philosophers to each other, that's all gone. There is no romance. See, it has become like the stupid, idiotic United States of America, where there is no romance, evidenced by the films. There is only sex in the United States, there is only sex in the West. But Eastern countries, especially India, there was great romance, romantic life. Again, the tragic consequence of the so-called speed trap. If I join a company doing this much year, so anyway, you find out the topic is very simple, but simple things of far-reaching consequences identify.
Can I give 2 examples where it became counterproductive, sir?
So you mean to say that other examples are not indicating the counterproductive character of speed trap?
Yes, sir.
So you mean to say
No,
that?
not in that manner. I can tell you 2 touch points where I experienced where the speed trap actually boomeranged on people, even though the result was faster.
So that means you are giving just 2 more examples.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, do that.
One was a case wherein we had to research on certain global companies, certain patterns, etc. So it took about a week and more, and it was not getting anywhere. So one of my colleagues used AI ChatGPT, and within I think about minutes they gave me a result. Initially, I did not know that they had used ChatGPT, and what results they gave was a list of organizations which I was looking for at a global level, but they gave not, let's say for instance, if you're looking at Airtel as an operator, instead of Airtel as an operator, they were giving examples globally of hardware providers for that organization. So I said this data is not right. Later when we were discussing, they did tell me that they were using this tool ChatGPT. They gave me some guidelines as well. And when I used it, okay, within about an hour, I got information which I was searching for a whole week. But the insight or the experience what I had gained earlier was where I could separate the chaff from the grain and then target down onto the specific information required. It gives outputs, yes, but unless you have the experience to know and discern or interpret it, it becomes a wasted output. Or you can even present it somewhere because it looks logical, but it is not correct. So that is one part of it. Secondly, my neighbor has a car which is very efficient, which is very safe, which is very beautiful, but in the town, it is giving them a mileage of 4 kilometers per hour because in a Bangalore traffic, it is not designed to go on that speeds. On a highway, it gives in double digits, but it is not productive here.
By the way, the second exam, I told you I am looking at it from different angles. How the second example becomes evidence for speed trap and whatever. You mean a high-speed car, costly car, is counterproductive in city, that's what you said.
Yes, sir, because it is designed to be operating at that level, but the city is not conducive for its operation.
Yeah, okay. I don't understand how you quote this as an example of speed trap.
In the intent to buy a very faster machine, more powerful machine, its application was misused.
Okay. Yeah, that is what you have to say finally. Okay. Alright, okay.
So many of my friends have asked me why I'm not buying a bigger bike or a faster bike like some of my friends or my brothers, etc. The fact is, in the city, those engines are not designed to perform. They need an optimal speed and optimal wind to cool them down, etc. In fact, it is not even bearable to ride. All my friends who are superbikes don't drive them in Bangalore. They have a second lower performance vehicle.
Alright. But that example is not correctly correlated because, as you said, those bikes are not meant for city driving, finished. Why do you bring in a fast driving vehicle into the city? Okay. So
people
you
don't
take that
look
bike
at it from that perspective. They only look at the perspective of faster vehicles in an inappropriate scenario.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, all right. Okay, that is the way you have to explain a concept to think. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Either we have to look in all the ways. Whether you understand the concept, point number one. Point number two, how do you conceptualize it to talk about it to an audience? Both are equally important. Okay.
Yes, sir. And I was also thinking of what Vinayji was saying. Sorry to take too much time, but the artificial intelligence, whatever output it is producing, is a resultant of all the amalgamated exposure, experience, insights which were there historically. And if you are killing that database or that information to accumulate again, in the future somewhere it will stop, their engine will cease.
It will stop meaning what? The artificial intelligence machine will stop working. That's what you say.
When the scenario changes, the maybe the data changes, if people, because of lifestyle and everything, the their methodology, their behavior, or even their physiology changes, that information which was being used as a initial data to learn may be lost, and whatever inference those systems may give may be outdated. I could be wrong, but
But,
that's my gut feel.
but it is constantly collecting data. They can collect the latest data also.
Yes, sir, but with the old parameters, right?
No. Parameter also can be changed. Why not? That is what is artificial intelligence. It can change the parameters also.
But can it deliver insights, a breakthrough which a genius or
It
a
can,
person is reflected on can?
as of now, it can give you a little bit of insights also. What is the insight of the human beings? Only a genius can give you unusual insights. All other insights
sir.
are nothing but a combination, permutations of the learned ideas.
You're right there, sir. But that learning will not happen in the future is what I'm afraid.
Yeah, learning is not happening now also. Why should you learn? If everything is available on your fingertip, why should you learn? Why should you learn? So you talked about the thing. Even government jobs will come down. Which has already come down. Why should you learn at all? As a result of learning, what do you do? Look at learning again. Now we are changing the topic. It's not a role here. We have to discuss ideas. Topic has been there. Why should somebody learn now? I mean, university learning. Point number one. Point number two. With even existent university learning, in which way that university learning is connected to a given job? Okay? You are just following the system available in an organization. Even medical doctors, they are just diagnosing using the available tool, and they know for this diagnosis that is the tablet to be given. And for managers, already there was the ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning System. If this and this and this are the data structure and the finance structure and the marketing structure and the inventory structure, take this decision. Artificial intelligence has been already there in a different format called ERP. Okay? So what job? So what learning is required? Now, the development of wisdom and understanding, reading great fiction, great philosophies to enrich the so-called grey matter of the brain, nobody is already interested. The entire grey matter, I mean the so-called cerebral cortex of the human being, is actually, that is the specialty of human being. It functions mainly for art, literature, poetry, music, philosophy, wisdom, understanding, insight, etc., etc. I would say that is provided for enlightenment. But that is dysfunctional in most people today. Because it needs training by reflection and attention and conceptualization and imagination and visualization. Like the way the cerebral cortex was used by the ancient mystics and the rishis and the philosophers and wonderful people. And nobody is learning anything. Okay, well, of course universities may continue, and increasingly artificial intelligence will enter in universities too. Already there is an experience of what you call COVID times. School owners are all waiting for a triggering point. Now, in another 10 years of time, there will be schools with only computer screens, advanced computer screens where you can talk to, and an artificial program will deliver beautiful, absolutely wonderful explanations and lessons on physics, chemistry, biology, whatever. So teachers will be out. And already the graphic designers, music creators, instrument players, it is just the beginning of the curve. There will be coming a critical turning of point of where every system will suddenly collapse. Along with that, there is illnesses, ignorance on what to eat and what not to eat, and then the speed trap, which was corrupted and what you call damaged that basic speed of the human being. There is a basic speed element, the speed equation for the human creature. You cannot speak in a certain. You can speak only in a certain speed. You can eat only in a certain speed. You can urinate only in a certain speed. You can shit only in a certain speed. You can enter into sleep only by a certain speed. Okay? The heart is in a certain speed. The lungs are in a certain speed. The digestive movements of the intestinal canal is in a certain speed. So human being is a definite speed configuration. And that human being is, by pressing the accelerator and pressing the buttons, seeing the consequences, they are all unconsciously defeated, resulting in various psychological calamities inside, deep. So, talk about this to people, manage your speeds. If the company requires you to do certain things, just to take it as that is the work, to do it in 6 hours, that's all. And out of that, you come out of your office, look at your bag, dust the seat, and smoothly caress it and enter on, get onto that and drive as if you are driving a bike 40 years back, enjoying the sights. Okay. As Ganesh Walmart said, I wonder what kind of fools buy high-speed cars, Mercedes-Benz and BMWs and all that. First of all, because it is high speed, you have to cross the windows. Okay? And then because it is high speed, you have to go on looking straight into the road. And the co-passengers, they can also look onto the side because it is moving fast. So just to get into the car and then there is Chennai and get out tired. They are tired because of the speed. You ask anybody, they cannot feel. So anyway, these are all just our academic discussions on speed trap to realize and feel sympathy for those who claim that they are living in an advanced environment. But you can be sure, Tintin, that every one of them is suffering secretly. I am telling you, Tintin, 97 out of 100 people you have in your office, they are all suffering from various mental confusions and conflicts. Not a doubt about that. They may be pretending smart. Okay? That's all. So be simple. So cut across that boundaries and relate with them. They will go on pretending. That also is a part of speed trap. Because that speed trap is a huge thing. It envisages a philosophy. You have to be smart. You have to be presentable. You have to be dynamic in a work environment or in a social environment or in the main road walking. That's why you see in the Brigade Road and MG Road in Bangalore, what a crowd, just like that, walking on the road, just like that. So, to tell you, though I verified it by my research, I got the idea of this from Rasayana only, the Ayurvedic tradition, because they talk about in the local language, Vega Avastha, Vegam meaning speed, Vinay. Vegam. So Vega Avastha is considered as a mental illness, and there are definite treatments for that in Rasayana. They are always in a hurry. Their respirations of high speed, their heartbeat, there is a speed, there is an anxiety. There is a certain tension. Oh, tomorrow I have to do this, today I have to do this. Kind of a whole lot of things are there happening. It is called the Vega Avastha, the speed state of mind. Then only I put it into research. Like when you drink alcohol, the blood pressure and the speed of blood increases, creating a Vegavastha. This modern situation is creating a Vegavastha. People are fed up with cities not because of the traffic and other kind of confusions and intimidating squanders everywhere around. It is because the speed of life indirectly injected into the minds of people. In the past, everybody was so patient. Now every system used to work on the speed. ATM transactions, now Google Pay, okay? Email, Google Pay. You go to a so-called, why department stores are increasing, so-called what you call department stores, malls. In other normal stores you have to go and wait there. There is somebody else, 2-3 people there, then the shopkeeper has to turn towards you and weigh it and pack it and give it to you. Then calculate the amount and you have to pay the money and then you have to wait there. Let us say for half an hour, let us say so. But now, going to a department store, they take half an hour for parking the vehicle, they don't care. But they go and so-called quickly pick up packets and they may wait or they may wait little more time near the counter and then they come out and they feel having done some wonderful thing. Like Vinay pointed out, all these technological advancements, you take every one of them, they are all for the interest of the so-called traders, the trinity who have been controlling humanity since time immemorial. The rulers, the clerics and the traders. Now traders are controlling the rulers and the clerics. Multinational corporations are controlling because that's the kind of wealth and power they have. So that is the kind of wealth they have. With the wealth they buy power. They all of them have great mafia group. What you call so-called snipers. So if you violate their conditions, you will be simply killed on the road. So no use discussing all these things. The world is going in that space, in that speed, and it will hit somewhere. No problem. But we discuss this because we want to be above all this stupid majority, who can be easily trapped by the exhibitionistic tendencies of the modern technologies. But you shall not be a victim of that, and you shall try to save at least 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 people in your life to live a meaningful life. I don't think even 3% of the modern university students can sit down and enjoy poetry or even music. They are not listening to music. It is just going on playing in their ears. That's all. It's a time speed trap adjustment. It is not even to enjoy the singing. Now, all and type of at least artistic kind of films, it will not happen again. We all want high-speed films. High-speed meaning car race and bullet and killing and all those things. Like, have you seen the new film, what you call John Wick 4? Didn't see that film, John Wick, Keanu Reeves. John Wick 1, 2, 3 and 4. I saw all of them as a researcher. John Wick 4, from the beginning till the end, killing and killing and killing only. High-speed action. But the modern generation cannot enjoy the marvelous, brilliant beauty of the film called The Sound of Music. You saw that? You have seen that, Vinay? Yeah? You have seen Sound of Music, Tintin?
No, sir.
Aha, you lost something.
I think I've seen it not less than 40, 50 times.
Beautiful, beautiful. I too.
Oh,
All of us, Mandra, Rishika, Amaya, myself. I have seen it more than 400 plus times. But that was by chance. When I was doing my doctoral work at IIM Ahmedabad, I don't need any work. I was pretending working most of the time. I finished my thesis, let us say high speed, 3.5 months of time. That's a different story. Okay. So there was a professor there, newly married, or he has a girl child, about 3.5 years old. Anyway, he had that. He belonged to. He had a very advanced perspective because he never wanted the child at the age of 3 to go to kindergarten. I'm talking about 1987 and all that. So he was very sure that the child should be at home, not in any kindergarten. Meanwhile, the wife, the mother got a job. The mother was also highly qualified and she wanted to go for a job, which was not agreeable to the professor, but still, marital problems. So she said, whatever it be, I will go to my work. Anyway, coming to the point, he asked me whether I can be the babysitter. Rather, I offered, I can be the babysitter for about 9 months. By the time the next academic year, they were ready to admit the child in a school. So, he was he had all his studies in England and Cranfield Institute of Management, so he had come from England. So he had the so-called video player and all that, which I had never seen before. Advanced Sony TV, Sony video player with a lot of that video, that ancient cassette tape video, ribbon video, some 50 of them, or world-class films, etc., 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 etc. Anyway, the child and me would be sitting there, and he said the one way to engage the child is, okay, put a film into the video player and enjoy it. Okay. So there, I had of course heard of Sound of Music. So after some 1 or 2, 3 films, I put Sound of Music. And marvelous thing is that because I appreciated it because I was already by that time experimented with film direction and I even created half of a film much before that. Therefore, I enjoyed the film, therefore I put it 3 days consecutively. Second day, the girl was not ready. I said, oh, come on, let us see. It was a 3-year-old girl child and she agreed. I think 4th day, 5th day. I don't know, okay, after a week or so, as I enter the house, she will come and tell me, will you put Sound of Music, Angry? That was a regular question. And for that entire 9 months, let us say, okay, once in a while we saw some other films. I would say 3 out of 5 days we saw Sound of Music. Even a 3.5 to 4-year-old, for about 5 months I was there, and she was able to enjoy it to Vinay. That is the marvelous, I don't know what is the magic in that film. Anyway, Tintin, you must see that film, every one of you. Have you seen that? Naveen?
yes.
Yes. Ganesh Raman must have seen that. Swara, have you seen that film?
Yes, sir.
No, Sundarji.
Yeah. Ganesh Raman, I suppose you have seen that. Ganesh, Walmart, you have seen that film?
No, sir.
Yeah, please see that, buy a CD or whatever it is and make the children see that film, Ganesh.
Sure. Sure, sir. I'll definitely watch it.
Please do it. I think it may not be available in internet, whatever, how somehow you get it. Amaya said it can be accessed from the internet by some program. Anyway, Swara, you must say that.
Sundarji, could you please repeat the name? I just wanted to.
The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music.
I'm sure we all have heard some songs from it.
Oh,
Not
of
realizing
course.
that it's from-
Of course, of course. It got 9 Oscars. It was directed by a guy, I forgot the name, who was working, sweeping the floors and collecting the edited cut film parts and keeping it in a room. And he was doing it for about 14 years. And that guy directed that film, The Sound of Music. Perhaps all film critics will say a masterpiece forever. No Titanic, no Gone with the Wind, no Rain Man, some of the subsequent Oscar winner films, none of them is anywhere near Sound of Music. It is not only my opinion, anybody who study films, all of them will agree. And what I wanted to, why it came, it is in such a beautiful speed of life. Perhaps the modern
It's
children
23
may not
hours.
enjoy it, I doubt, Vinay. By the way, Vinay, have your children seen that?
Yes, they have, and they know all the songs
Alright, okay, beautiful.
as well. Yes.
Any child would love it because all the leading roles are by children. So, I remembered Sound of Music because I happened to see John Wick 4, Vinay. It is available in what you call Amazon, but I think you have to pay some money. I don't know. It is unusual. I have not seen a film like that. Of course, I have not seen much, but recently one of my activities is to do research on some films. From the beginning, Tintin, till the last shot, continuously killing and killing and killing.
I remember
And
John Wick 1, sir, it had a story at least initially.
Yeah, this is a continuation of that only, and it had that story that villain dies in John Wick 1, right? Anyway, some other villains, anyway, what is it? More or less the continuation of the same story only, Tintin.
I think I saw 2 or something, I got bored.
Yeah. If you got bought into, I am sure you will stop John Wick 4 within 5 minutes. But no doubt it is so-called directed. The technology of directing such a fast film is no doubt marvelous. But the point is that it is all engendering that speed trap in the modern generation. As a result of speed trap, you won't be able to enjoy life, Tintin. You won't be able to enjoy the flowers and the birds and the trees and the clouds and the rains and the oceans and all that thing. Because down on the sea beach and just like that with the company of 1 or 2 people, or to sit alone and just like that watching the ocean for hours together. That speed of existence, which aspect of the planet Earth has changed, altered its speed? If the speed of Earth revolution and rotation is increased, if the speed of the plants and the birds, their growth is increased, what will be the consequence? Is there a single thing in planet Earth which has altered its speed ever since the recorded history? And this is happening only because of the so-called technology which was taken for advantage by the greedy, evil minds, especially of the West. Indian organizations, I know, a lot of people have blamed it. No doubt there are a lot of lacunae, but it was all going in a certain speed. Okay, of course, people complain that it was not conducive to the progress of India. You had to wait for 3 years to get an ambassador car, am I right, Tintin?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Even a scooter, for
Even
instance.
a scooter, yes.
But because of that factor, I know every part of the ambassador and the scooter. In fact, I even assembled our scooter back once when we had a fight with the guy who was repairing it. He left it there for months. So we had to bring it all back in the van, and then I think I put it back together, at least the structure of it. So my father was impressed. He was like, oh, then I.
And because of the speed trap, there is increased interpersonal conflicts and killings and rape and all these things. Now it is better just don't enter into conflict with anybody. Almost anybody on the road will hit you within 3 minutes if you enter into a debate with you. Because that patience of the mind, something refer to by the word patience. So that pace, PSC of the mind and the thought process and the emotions are all completely damaged. So nobody is ready to listen to you.
What he said now is like a standard warning in Delhi, I've heard, sir.
Yeah. In
Don't challenge another person on the road at
No,
all.
no, no, no. If that guy is a little bit stronger than you, he will definitely hit you. And they will come and hit on your car. And if you question them, you will be hit. Bangalore also is not bad. But everybody is scared of the other person. Therefore, everybody is careful. And the villains are moving around freely. Okay? The world has become absolutely unethical because of the speed trap. That's the final point I would like to make. Absolutely unethical. Husband-wife relationship at home is a terrible victim of speed trap only. That patience is lost. Sitting down and talking, or simply sitting down without talking, just the togetherness, because there is no dynamism in that. There is no so-called speed and thrill in that. Okay. So you can see great consequences of speed trap. We talked about the familiarity trap, the rigidity and functional fixedness, sensitivity lag, etc., etc. They are all about individual mind settings and the consequences in the context of the growth and evolution of the individual. Speed trap too. But speed trap is a terrible social danger. A danger for the world. A danger for perhaps the very planet Earth. The speed with which China or US wants to economically advance, what all things they do to make wealth fast, what advantage of making it faster? I don't know. Okay, they say marketing the product to reach everybody. Therefore they produce a lot. Most of the small industries are in terrible confusion. You go to a departmental store and see how many brands are there in a single product. So think about all these things. Anyway, I also feel defeated most of the time. What advantage if we think and worry about the world? What are we going to do? We just cannot do anything. But we can do basically an introspective analysis to what extent we are victims of speed trap, what all damages happen to us. Okay, but at least what all damages we may induce in other people. How many of you write a journal, for example, about the so-called Genius Choice program? How many of you find the time to do it? I know who does it, of course. Vinay does it, for example, meticulously. Anybody else?
I don't write a journal, sir, but I keep an online archive of all the sessions we have, all the information.
No. That is not what I want to say. How many of you sit down and take a pen and write with your hand on paper?
I did it today, sir, and I think the experience is different from what I typed.
I am not questioning. So I am just asking. If you don't do that, actually it is because of the speed trap.
So I used to do it. I did it for about 15 sessions. Then I stopped.
Because as Tintin, when I also gave the example, this very speed trap is because of the attachment with the outcome and the output. How much of profit? That is the connection between speed trap and the ways of doing things. It is not just about doing things fast.
Can I share one observation with how it was when I was typing in online and versus when I'm writing today, sir?
All right, come on.
So all this time till the last session, from the last few years, I've been I've been actually taking down almost all the sessions, sometimes even verbatim, and I can even search on that database for if any questions, terminologies, etc.
Okay.
Now, what I've realized is that most of the time when I was doing it online, because I'm able to type fast, it was a transcribing, almost word to word. But since my writing is much slower, it is a synthesized condensation which I'm doing here right now.
Yeah.
Which is much more going through the cerebral process. Previously it was like you talk, I type.
So you're talking actually about the advantage of writing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I may not get everything, but what I get is
Yeah.
what I process and what I write down.
To get everything, that also is a consequence of speed trap. To cover maximum distance, to make maximum money. I cannot lift it. I can show you about 3,500 cards. Like of this size. 3,500. Exact number because it is a research, literature review card that was used way back in 1985 by PhD research scholars. Somebody had this as extra. So in every card is my writing on both the sides. Okay? This is only one of it. I have more than 10 200-page diaries with the full writing. I had maybe more than that, all of them I entered into the computer. I told you some 25,000 plus files of my writing, my ideas. Okay? Then I have something like this. There are about 600 cards, visiting cards, on which I have written it is very difficult to write, painstakingly, on either side. Alright? And why I showed you this is, all this were done when I was so busy working at Accelerate Jamshedpur and working partly as the research associate or the editorial associate at IIM and doing my doctoral thesis. All of them. Other writings I have not shown you. This particular set of cards and the 200-page notebooks, 10 of them, and that small cards were all written at that time. Living a so-called married life at that time. So, okay, that's all. So what I am telling is, when you are inspired by the slowness, you will do many things. Like the proverbial tortoise and the rabbit. So, steady and slow, you will be able to do wonders. It is just a false belief that if you write on computers, it will be like that. These are all, from 10 cards of this, I can write a book. And I am not worried about that. 90% of my such ideas are all, let us say, retrospectively a waste. In a conventional, as in a stupid sense. I don't repent about that, no doubt. What I am telling is, that's the possibility of slow speed. All these are meticulously written in a different kind of handwriting, beautiful, a different kind of handwriting. It is not written fast, it is not fast writing. I can write super speed. I can write in the same speed of somebody talking. But in all these cards, because I loved these cards and I wrote it with a certain arrangement, certain design, certain page setting, which takes a little extra time. So remember that race between the tortoise and the rabbit. Be a tortoise in life. Don't be a rabbit.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please. Yes.
Sorry,
Come on, Krishna.
Sir, would multitasking also be a speed trap?
No.
Because there's pressure to do as many things as possible simultaneously to save time.
No. You say doing different things in order to save time.
Yeah, there is tremendous pressure. So if you're not able to multitask and you're not able to do multiple jobs at the same time, you're considered incompetent or little lesser than normal. There is so much, a multitasker is given so much more accolades and so much more credit.
Yeah, that is a different aspect. Okay. That's a different aspect. Everybody cannot do multitasking, only it requires a certain competency and power of intellect, and let them do it. In that multitasking, is there a background operating mind which is pressurizing you to do it faster? Like you are in a hurry. That is called a speed trap in working.
Yes, sir. So you're in a hurry. So you're trying to do as many things simultaneously, all at the same time.
No. That you will not do it in a hurry. If you do it in a hurry, then there is an element of speed trap that affects your autonomic nervous system. But you do 3, 4, 5, 6 different things in its normal speed. This was done by all the mothers of the, let us say, 50 years back.
No, sir, I'm not talking about the normal speed. I'm saying now, just hurry, just fast to finish it off, so I do everything at the same time.
You can do 100 things, but hurry is the speed trap.
Yes, sir, that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
Would
so,
that
of course,
qualify as speed trap?
Because that hurry, like Tintin said, in modern IT companies, they have to work fast. That let them do. But you should be having that powerful self-awareness where you do work in that speed, even if you do multitasking or single task, but let it not generalize in your mind. That manifests itself in other domains of life. A simple example, Kisabel, the modern mothers do not have time to read out a fairy tale book to the child.
Yes.
That is, the speed trap, just a word which I have used. Actually, that's why I told you about the Rasayanic. Ayurveda talks about Vega Avastha, meaning state of speed of the mind. has an illness. Therefore, I put the name speed trap. But it covers. A single name may not cover all the details of what we may discuss. Like creativity, just a single name, but it is different domains. Creativity in dance is different from creativity in poetry. So similarly, just I put a name speed trap. That's why I gave you the example. The modern educated mothers do not feel comfortable. They don't have this. They don't have the patience to sit with the baby and read out a fairy tale. Even if they do it, they may just read it out. I read out one sentence and ask the child, okay, some dialogues in between and make it to sleep and things like that. They don't have that patience. They are simply sitting and maybe watching WhatsApp messages or currently or TV programs. And films, I was with films. Modern films, they have to be directed for a certain speed or change of scene. Otherwise the audience will get bored. Unlike films about 30 years back, definitely. Even meeting a girl, working towards a girl, talking to her, entering into a dialogue with her, it would take about at least 10-20 different scenes. Now you look into any film, instantly meeting a girl and tuck. The next meeting they are in love. And because of the speed trap, they don't even enjoy that love. Within 1 month of love, they want to enter into sex, which is going on terribly. You ask the teachers, you ask the psychologists, you ask any social worker. A social worker in the very so-called Coimbatore told me, who is also a teacher, he was telling me almost 1 out of 20 girls in class 5 might have already had sexual experience. Like in the West, because they are all curious. In Kerala alone, as I am watching the so-called YouTube news, just 1 week back, a 13-year-old girl had gone with a 24-year-old man. And she was going with complete cooperation with him, because the police had a tough time to locate them. It was not kidnapping or anything. That's also a speed trap. Get the point? Speed of tasting things, speed of experiencing things, speed of covering all the things. Then what they are going to do? That's what I told you about NUE. I used to tell the students at IIM and XLRA and other management institutes, they were all worried when somebody gets a big salary package. I have only 25,000 rupees starting salary. I said, beautiful. You can love your work, you can love your life, if you have that proper mindset. You get 2.5 lakh every month at the age of 24, you may feel the thrill in the beginning, but afterwards you will be in trouble. In various ways. There is nothing to aspire for. There is no meaning in life. Meaninglessness is the major, the most dominant, phase of PHSC of humanity today. Including for people living in the rural areas because of this so-called internet and the smartphones.
I have one small reflection of something that happened earlier today.
Tintin, mute your phone. Yeah, alright, come on, yes.
So today we concluded in this afternoon the final examination of our postgraduate students, and so the batch which took their examination yesterday, they kind of came to talk about their experience, and they all felt that they could have driven harder and faster and done better in the exam. And so, kind of spontaneously, I just reacted to that statement antagonistically, saying that is not how you tackle life. And then I just kind of came up with an analogy, and I just asked them a question. When in a chariot race, who wins the race was my question to my students, and there were 7 of them. So one said the charioteer, one said the owner of the chariot, and the other 5 didn't say anything. I said the one who wins the race is not the horse or the owner of the chariot, it is the charioteer, because the horse runs as hard and fast as possible, but the race is won by the charioteer who limits the speed of the horse, and that is the crucial component. So don't run like the horse. Sometimes you have to hold back the speed of the horse like the charioteer to win the race. So it was just something that resonated with today's topic.
Very good guideline you have given to them, which they will remember throughout their life at critical points, no doubt about that, Vinay. Similarly, in classroom speed, finish the subjects fast. In the past, in the schools, perhaps you would remember, at the end of the class, the teacher would talk something, general importance, or ask the child what is the situation at home, something like that. Now there is no time. Any problem?
No problem. I just want to ask you something.
How is it?
Right now I was studying, I could hear him crying out loud.
I have a question.
His father is crying out loud. ഇങ്ങനെ വിഷമങ്ങളൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുക. അത് പറയണ്ടെന്ന് പറയണം.
ഒരു കുട്ടിയോട്
ആ
നീ പറയണ്ട, കുട്ടിക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും പ്രോബ്ലം ഉണ്ടോ?
ഇല്ല I just wanted to know.
But remember this, we will talk about it tomorrow. Alright. Yes, please, Parvati.
The speed at which a person A does an activity versus person B can be different person to person. Now, are we concluding that a speed trap is actually relative?
Definitely, yes.
So if somebody is able to do something quickly and wants to do it quickly.
That topic was, sorry Parvati, it was discussed. When Christabel talked about multitasking and things like that, it is not about doing a thing quickly or not. A housewife finishing all the works quickly is a very competent, efficient housewife. We are talking about a state of mind where there is a hurry, where there is lack of patience, okay, where there is inability to enjoy the so-called present, always in the future, what yet to get, what next to get, etc., covering up distances faster and faster.
You are not being in future, but being fully in the present, but at a high speed.
Or the husband who does not have the patience to talk to the wife. Because the first consequence of speed trap is the loss of patience to listen to somebody else. You listen to the conversation of people. You listen to the conversation between 2 people, so-called dyadic conversation. Before you finish your talking, the other one will start talking to you. They will not allow you to finish your talking. They don't wait and ask, anything more to talk? No. People do not have the patience to listen to people. Including leaders of organizations. They don't have, they are somewhere. That's what is referred to by the concept of speed trap, which is called Vegavastha, the state of speed of mind. Like Ganesh said, in the past, anybody, even I have driven from Bangalore to Mysore some 10 years back. It's a beautiful drive through various turnings and towns and all that. Okay, now 75 minutes or whatever it is. Now you don't enjoy anything. You just enjoy the speed. And I don't think they enjoy the speed either. Because at least the driver may not be enjoying it. Because he has to be all the more tensely alert because the car is going 140, 150 km speed. If anything happens, it is the end of the world for all of them. So even speed is not enjoyed fully. But may be enjoyed also. Because of the speed, the sides cannot be enjoyed. Saying, that is called speed trap. Because the speed of life, though the distance covered is the same, the sightseeing is affected. Even when there is a lot of time, the mother and the child or the father and the child does not lie down in the terrace and look at the stars. Because the mind is in speed. Do you understand, Parvati?
I understand.
Yeah, that's all. Maybe simply sitting.
Have this trap.
Father, mother simply sitting at home. Or watching television. Or nowadays looking at the smartphone. One day, once a week even. They cannot comfortably sit together and talk. Pleasingly sit down and talk in a certain, certain pace, PSE. The pace of life is lost. Like people are not able to enjoy Kathakali and Carnatic, classical music. Okay? Because the speed is very slow. They want to enjoy fast numbers. See? That is called a speed trap. They became impatient. Oh, the bus is delayed. The train is slow. The flight is delayed. I have often seen, because during the COVID season, in the last, some 3 years back, over a period of 3 years, I made more than 250 flights because of certain assignments. I have seen at least 5 or 6 times when a flight is delayed, what a commotion, what a dialogue is going on. They go to the girl standing there in the departure gate, and they are all crowding, why it is delayed, as if they are going to do some wonders reaching their destination. Nothing to do. I am sure. Maybe one CEO or one somebody is there who has fixed the meeting. Okay, there is a meeting, so what? An urgency, a state of urgency for no reason. That is called a speed trap. Not necessarily you do a thing quickly, you do multitasking, etc., etc. A state of urgency of the mind. I don't know how many of you are able to discern it. But Naveen may not be that much able to, because he is at a pace with the work in the government office secretariat. Maybe Naveen may not be, I don't know. Sorry, Vinay, I don't know. But Ganesh, of course, Parvati, of course, Ganesh Raman, of course, Tintin, of course, yes. But to what extent it has spread out?
Like everything has to be delivered as of yesterday.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Everything has to be delivered as of yesterday.
Yeah.
Today's medical system is also exactly like that. So, the whole point in every service that human avails of, they want it fast. And today, everybody wants health care also at that same rate of turnover, and that is actually a a huge trap. It's a trap for the entire community or even humanity, because everybody has bought into the logic that even healthcare should be delivered at rapid speed, proportionate to the amount of money that can be paid.
And similarly, that ends at temples, sir. God is also a function.
God is also not exempt. What is a service provider?
I have a different queue for a different wallet. Speed of darshan.
Yes, exactly, Ganesh. Now, the well-known Ayyappa temple in Ernakulam, Kerala, they are going to have a helipad. Helipad or airport or something like that.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I think a devotee used to walk all the way
Exactly.
to the forest to reach there.
Of course, it was have been definitely reformative, regenerative, regenerating experience. But now they all take a taxi. So many accidents happen because of the high-speed traffic. They reach there, they hurry-burry to climb up and somehow finish it, come down fast, finish it.
I think Tirupati was the first to start this. So they in fact bought the ticketing office also down the hill. Even before you start climbing, there is a place where you can book the tickets. And now online, of course.
Ticketing was not enough, so they also have high-level references. They'll just take you straight to the door.
Oh yes, of course. VIP entrance.
In fact, today, one senior officer, retired of course, he was narrating his experience of going to some similar temple. And he was narrating it with such a pride that when so many people were in the queue, the pujari came and or somebody came and took him straight near the sanctum sanctorum as a great credit. So many examples around, but it's all inevitable forward movement conducted by the governments and trade corporations and public systems. So, to an extent, especially you people cannot escape it that easily, but escape is possible. That's why I narrated my experience of writing so many things. I worked in the top institutions where work was absolutely very systematic and nobody can simply sit whiling away the time. Sitting there only after the office times. Reaching home at 8:30, 9 o'clock only, I wrote all those tens of thousands of pages. So, just because it is a slow pace, but I finished it. It's an illusion that you will finish a lot of things by working faster. It gives an artificial feeling that we are doing a lot of things or we achieve a lot of things. I don't know. I am not sure about it. But from my experience, it is not so.
If somebody doesn't want to trade off quality for the time and cost, then the person has to almost kill himself or herself in the process.
Yeah.
Otherwise, quality will be compromised.
So it's all affecting the quality of life.
Everything.
And expectations, it creates expectations, so fast expectations, generalizations, in a devious way in our unconscious mental processes. There is no time to wait for the husband to change. There is no time to wait for the wife to change. So communications become different. In that very communication, the life gets spoiled. Parents telling children all the time, study well, study very well, do it fast. They don't say fast, but there is an implied communication to get things done fast. Though the number of years in a school is limited, but there is a speed introduced to the child. Speed meaning getting things, learning things quicker and complete. Make it 2, 3, 4, 5 revisions so that you get the top marks. And several examples of that you identify and come to that pace of life. It is important for the health. Great lot of managers suffer from constipation and what you call IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And a lot of girls have a problem, working girls. What is that? Something connected with periods or something like that? What is that?
Polycystic ovarian.
PCOD.
What?
Polycystic ovarian disorder.
There's a short form they use.
PCOS.
Correct. PCOD. Yeah. It's all actually due to the Vegavastha. Because I am talking about my absolutely complete clear understanding of the body processes. Because the mind is nothing but the overall energy field of the central nervous system in connection with the 5 vayus of the body and the 8 liquids of the body. That is the so-called mind. The sound of all these engines together is called the mind. And when the mind is corrupted by any such unnecessary variables, putting the system into that kind of an unnecessary speed, that is why most of the illnesses, people may not believe this. Of course, there are other illnesses caused by food poisoning and other kind of things, but this Vegavastha of the mind is a catalyst kind of a thing, is a facilitator, is triggering. What is the so-called illness of the body? A certain engines, a certain system, a certain organ has varied in its functions. Am I right, Vinay? How it can vary? When I was a boy, of course, as I was not going to school, I used to interact with a lot of people, lot of families. I think I never heard a word called blood pressure. By the time class 10 or plus 1 or so, I heard that somebody has blood pressure. Somebody big, some big office or a government office or somebody. So I was wondering, what is that? Now a great lot of people have blood pressure. Now every other guy on the road has done what you call angiogram.
Angioplasty.
Angiography, and even in this so-called Alanduri, I do not know much people, but I know at least 10, 12 people having already done what you call bypass.
Angioplasty. Bypass.
That is because of the speed of the mind to get things done, to reach somewhere faster, including to reach Coimbatore city faster, to get into the first bus, to get a seat fast, and all that, I should get everything, and all kinds of psychological linkages are there. It is not that easy to talk about it. I hope you will reflect on this and understand this. For example, if you do not get, let's say you are in a taxi to reach the airport, to reach there by 10:30. If you remember, if the car is in a block, your heartbeat will increase. Am I right, Vinay? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Why the heartbeat should increase? Because there are so many thoughts. If I miss the flight, I will not get a next flight, that much of ticket money is lost, blah, whatever. And I have to be doing things very systematically. There's a continuous speed of mind to do things right, to please the boss, to get a good rating in performance appraisal, etc., etc. All these are adding to the speed of mind. If I talk openly about Tintin, I think without asking his permission, some 10 years back or so, he resigned his job because of some organizational constraints. He could have continued. And he was very, whatever normal tension, etc., etc. I said, be cool, take a break. And instantly he did it. After a week, he made it a pleasure trip to Goa or somewhere and things like that. And he was like that for about 5, 6, 7 months, all the time cool. And then he got into a wonderful job. There is no that frantic, state of mind, that panic state of mind. That is called a speed trap, Parvati.
Yes, so to not get into that panic state, the person has to do a lot of work on themselves.
Lot of work on?
Themselves.
That's what we are talking about.
Yeah, so consciously to avoid that panic state, but at the same time deliver what is required, requires a lot of energy, efforts.
No. It requires minimum use of energy and minimum use of efforts. On the contrary, Parvati. When in panic state, there is a great lot of effort, great lot of energy being wasted. The pace,
the person has to relax and then...
exactly. What do you mean by relaxed?
No, if there is a team that is also under and then you are required to deliver on behalf of the entire team, then even if that person is relaxed, it requires some additional effort and energy to get the team to deliver.
No. These are all nonsense. These are all incorrect. By your getting frantic, by your getting tense, nothing will work.
Yes.
No. These are beautiful examples of the consequence of speed trap. Your flight to departure is at 2:30, okay, boarding time is 2:30, and you are starting from your destination and the car got stuck on the traffic. Sit there cool. That is the test of your genius. I am telling you, and the taxi driver says, sir, let us not go. You say you just go. And I am telling you that flight will be delayed. That is the potential of a genius himself. It has happened to me. I have trained at least 2-3 people to be like this, who with a lot of pride announced that experience in audience, and the entire audience, of course, they were laughing at him. That is the control. That is the level we are talking about. We are not talking about eliminating speed trap from the mind of the majority of idiots on the road. No. Okay, Parvati has a team meeting at 4:30 p.m. Okay, you are simply late. I am telling you, you reach 4:30 p.m. Okay, you hurry and you reach at 4:30 and you see that at least 4 or 5 people are already absent. Guaranteed, Parvati, guaranteed. Because then the normal social, the you is not operating. You have to redefine your self-concept. You are all looking at you the same old way. The self-concept of a genius, what do you think, is in tune with the spirit of the universe. That's a big time. With the spirit of the universe present in the cell membrane, in the cellular universe of the body, then you are a force. You may look the same, wearing the same dress, having the same hairstyle, having the same appearance. but you are a different force. Come to that level, okay? Why we are doing this discussion on genius and self? You thought some idea discussion? Do you think genius in self is a bloody set of ideas? No. It's a state of being where things will work the way you want. Then only that stupid statement repeated by every idiot on the road, by what you call that guy, what you call, when you have a desire, the entire universe will conspire. That is bullshit. No. It will happen only to that genius individual. As I told you, if you are late, the aircraft will be in repair, the flight will be delayed for 5 hours, okay? Or the meeting will not happen. Some other important person to come for the meeting will be delayed. Or if you enter the room, the microphone system will not be working. Sorry, loudspeaker system. Or the computers in the inner hall will be halted, okay? That's what I call by the term genius in self. Where nobody can put you into problems. If some transient, scratch here and there, okay, depending upon the power of the person, they will not be able to do any damn thing on you. That is called a genius in self. Even if by chance, by the sheer power and the number of those people, even if they crucify on the cross, you will bloody get out of that cross next day morning completely resurrected. Come to that level. That is what I call genius in self. And it is definitely possible. 100%. Because every cell of your body is an integral part of this marvelous planet Earth. Do you doubt it?
No, sir.
Every blood corpuscle, white and red and whatever, running through the veins and arteries of your body is not your making. It's a making of the wonderful invariant force of this planet Earth. Every cell of your neuron, your eyes and your ears and that cerebral cortex is a 100% product sustained by the air and the water and the food material of this planet Earth. How can it be defeated by any other bloody human being? Okay, be simple, be gentle, be a nobody. Like the very planet Earth. Perhaps like the very God, the super almighty powerful God. Possibly there is one. The indirect evidence is that it is so gentle, it does not operate at all. Let us say so. That very ultimate God is a nobody. It just does not want to show that it is the God. That is the power of the God. So come to that level. So genius in self is not to conquer the world, but to conquer that stupid self-image induced and inducted and injected into you by the ridiculous majority population around you. The culture and the tradition and all those philosophies and ideologies infiltrated without your permission into the concept of your own self. Which constrained you into a simple definition of a name and a social background and an educational background and a role definition and all those blah blah things. That is only for the drama. It is only for the drama of survival. To eat food. Therefore, we have to compromise a little bit in today's world because we don't own lands to cultivate the food. Even if you cultivate the food, you want money to buy the salt. The barter system is over. So people use the word Godspeed. Godspeed is the speed of the nature process. Godspeed is the speed of a fertilized egg growing into its full being in 280 days. Why there is no damn technology to make a human being ready by the 20th day? Modern females would like it. Because they don't want to spend that much of time carrying this and being debilitated by that. And most females increasingly are not ready to conceive, you know that? Speed trap, Vinay. I myself know at least 4.
Even cesarean section has become a speed trap.
Pardon me, Vinay?
Cesarean section has become a speed trap.
Of course. Definitely, yeah. Correct. See, I have thought about this. In fact, that did not occur to me. So there are so many hideous ways in which speed trap is operating without our awareness. Not that you do it, but to understand the society, social forces, and to understand somebody standing before you is a victim of all those things. Understand that. It's all in the unconscious, so-called non-conscious. More than 97% of our mind is in the non-conscious realms. So, we have to reach to that level to throw away, to drop all the girls. And boldly recreate and redefine you, secretly. Maybe discussing with 1 or 2 of your close friends. Or somehow manifesting in whatever you do. You can go to my Facebook page. I just do it as a time pass only. I don't write any ordinary sentence in that at all. My every Facebook posting can be made in the minimum 70-page book. Not a result of hard thinking or anything. When I open the Facebook, I just type it. I can type 10,000 of those ideas. What I mean to say that whatever you respond, whatever you express, whatever you do, whatever you behave, the way you relate with people, the ways of your language must reveal the what you call the ultimate force of the universe, if required, Tintin. And it should be as gentle as the single drop of a mist falling down to a blade of grass. Okay? Complete harmonious control, Tao, that's called Tao. Okay, this is all part of the journey. Achieve it. There's a lot of time to enjoy the beauty of Tao, beauty of harmony of life. Okay, and let's say after your retirement, and even during your retirement, and so work. So it is definitely possible. I am the evidence. Wherever I want, everybody else was surprised about me. I know that. Because I don't talk in ordinary sentence. I don't behave in ordinary ways.
It's 0 hours.
Be proud about that. Be special. Be proud about that. Don't feel so what you call humble. I mean in a different sense. And be happy-go-lucky. Be simply happy. Create happiness. That is the work of your attendant spirit. And don't equate with something else, a duplicated perception from the ridiculous third world country, especially India. No. Even if you're starving, you can be happy-go-lucky. So be a happy-go-lucky freak-out also. People today are not able to, another consequence of speed trap, Parvati, people are not able to feel happiness. Because happiness is a certain state of mind which is at a certain pace. Like Ganesh was telling, happiness is when you drive at 60 to 80 and you frequent sometimes 100 km per hour in a beautiful wide road. Any idiot can press the accelerator in a wide road, okay? In fact, I drive a little faster through complicated roads. I drive particularly normal in so-called whatever wide road. Once in a while speeding up. Enjoy everything. Enjoy your car, enjoy your bike, enjoy your table, enjoy your whatever, enjoy your smartphone. Appreciate it. People don't appreciate. They have lost appreciation for the prized things which they were craving for. Because the mind is fast. They are not able to feel contented in whatever wonders they have. Because mind has crossed, it is going in faster speed. Okay, one day of happiness. Okay, I got a new bike, new car, okay, new cell phone, finished. It requires a pace of the organism to enjoy the beauty and wonder and mystery of existence. As also the beauty and wonder of the pencil and the pen and the paper and the table and the watch and the mobile and the radio and the vehicle and everything. As a result of speed trap, they cannot enjoy that, Parvati. That is called a speed trap. Because you not enjoy, you have to look at it. You have to spend some time with it. You have to focus your attention very gently. Then only you will enjoy. Like modern people go for picnics, just like that go around and come back. Like Ganesh Raman said, a lot of people now go for workout. Temple visit. Temple visit now it is a fashion in Tamil Nadu especially. A group of families will collect and they hire a bus and they visit some 13 temples in 3 days. I don't know what is that. And they are all very dedicated people, dedicated to the God. Yeah. Like there are a lot of conducted tours also, world tour. Some 13 days, some 23 countries. They just go and move around, come out, go to a restaurant, have food, again get the bus, then,
It's like go into the moon, plant a flag, and jump back.
These are all a few of the umpteen number of examples manifested everywhere because of what I call speed trap. You can put some other name. You just do your own research and come to the wisdom and understanding. When you receive that, you will, as much you expand, the cerebral cortex become that powerful. With your wisdom and understanding, you gain that power of, what you call, that Socratic power.
There is another consequence of speed trap. It just struck me, sir. Can I?
Why not?
I have a few friends who have stopped working a few years back. So they are so happy to see me, but the problem is that while they are willing to spend a day or even a week, my time and the speed of my mind is not conducive to that, and there is a dissonance.
Oh, okay.
So anybody who is in a speed trap can only operate with people at that speed. And I realized that what was the difference, and now I've come to the conclusion, it is because they are now more at a natural state of mind, while I am going at an accelerated rate. And during that period, when I was actually at ease and in a break, there was a harmony in our interactions.
Yeah. That metaphor of that journey proposed by Ganesh is very, very, very symbolically correct case study. In the past, you could drive very comfortably, watching the sights, getting down somewhere and have a cup of tea from the roadside dhaba, have a urdu vada, dal vada, and then talk to some few people there, and then take another trip, and then stop at another tea shop, and then reaching Mysore. Beautiful. And now get into the straight road, press the pedal, and then reach. This is completely a clear metaphor of speed trap. That's all, finished.
Even on that, sir, I'm sorry if I'm taking time, there are two biker groups to which I used to ride with. The first group we all used to have bullets. You would go, after about 45 minutes, you would slowly take a break. Unhurried, you have a tea, a cigarette, maybe have some food, then slowly start off and go. By evening, you would reach the new place.
Okay.
Another group of people with whom, the last time I've ridden as well, they all had super bikes, and I also borrowed my brother's bike. And we went at, I think the highest speed I've ever driven was on those bikes. We went from point A to point B, boom. From point B to point C, boom.
Yeah, finished, yes. Exactly, yeah. So.
And you have to be so focused because you're going at such high speeds.
Yeah, you just kind of dangerous. Don't focus, very dangerous. Especially in Indian roads. Even in other roads also.
In fact, I have one of a neighbor's Bajaj scooter bike here right now with me. I was thinking maybe one day I'll take it and come to your place, Kalimangalam, because it's much more slower. I can only ride slower, and I'm sure that ride will be more relaxing.
Yes, definitely, and you will not get tired, yes, very true. So, drive the path of existence in the normal pace, that you will know when to speed up and when not to speed up. So, speed trap, comparing the so-called speed aspect or the velocity aspect, it is not that all the time you go in slow space. When it is required, you be as fast as a samurai sword, or when it is not required, you will be as fast as a flower opening only. From the samurai sword to the flower opening Vinay, that is the range you have to enjoy. Okay, Parvati?
Anyway, I'm being trained out of this by Manasvi. She has declared don't tell anything, ask her to do anything fast. So I have no choice.
All right.
You're
Okay.
up to that.
Yes, please. Anything else?
Not from me, sir, today. I think I spoke too much.
Yeah. In fact, our program also is going in a fast pace. Every concept is to be discussed, reflected upon. Every one of you make ideas, responses, discoveries. That is the real speed of this program, the real required speed. What to do? We are contradicting ourselves also. But I have some reason also. I only want to point out the destinations of ideas. I want to conduct your thought process. I honestly hope that you will just receive some points out of this discussion and make your own thesis out of it and develop your own perspectives. Therefore, this is okay. Therefore, this is perfectly okay. It's not about my finishing whatever. It's about your finishing it. And that you have to do it in your own pace, but do it in your own settings and according to your own process of life. According to what I call the design setting process of your life. All right, sirs. All right, Sarah. All right, Krishnabal. All right, Naveen. All right, Ganesh Raman. All right, Parvati. All right, Ganesh.
Good night,
All right,
Sundarji. Thank you so
all right,
much.
Vinay. Bye-bye.
See you.
Yes. Mandra? Mandra?